The Shabbat before Pesach is always known as Shabbat Hagadol, which translates as the Great Shabbat. Why is it called Shabbat Hagadol? Historically, it was the first Pesach kept by the Jews on the 10th of Nisan, which was Shabbat. The Jews were instructed to prepare their animals in keeping with the command to bring a sacrifice on Pesach night. Each Jewish family tied up the sheep and walked through the streets. The Jews were questioned by the Egyptians, wanting to know what they were doing. The Jews responded and explained that they were going to bring a sacrifice. The Egyptians were outraged that these animals represented their deities. However, they were powerless to do anything. This was one of the miracles that occurred on Shabbat Hagadol. We're also told the Saturday was a mundane day, even considered dark in the Egyptian week. This was all the Jews knew coming out of Egypt, as they were steeped in Egyptian culture. On this day, the Jews walked their sheep through the streets, having faith and belief that nothing would happen to them. They embraced the first glimpse of Shabbat and the freedom it represents, the holy light and the salvation that Shabbat offers. Another explanation is that many years ago, the rabbi of each congregation only spoke twice a year. The first time was Shabbat Hagadol. The rabbis would discuss at length regarding the laws concerning Pesach. It was anticipated in each household that the services would run much longer than usual. At our synagogue, we adhered to this custom and encouraged congregants to ask questions. Our rabbis share very innovative ideas as well as teaching options to incorporate in our seders. The other time of the year when the rabbi would speak was between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. This Shabbat is known as Shabbat Shuvah. The rabbis would exhort congregants to repent and make amends prior to Yom Kippur. This remains true for what Shabbat ought to represent for each of us, which is joy and recharging our emotional and physical batteries, embracing the holiness of God, and in His wisdom, He created Shabbat for us. In our normal week, we're always running, multitasking, and being overloaded with other pursuits. But on Shabbat, we have this wonderful gift to be able to go back in time and simplify what we do for 24 hours. We should treat every Shabbat as Shabbat Hagadol, spending time with our families, eating specialty foods, and infusing the holiness of the day. We're living uncertain times. We're all in this together. We should use the time that we have at home to recalibrate ourselves. We're reminded of what is truly important and use this time to draw closer to God within our own comfort levels. May you have a restful, meaningful, and joyous Shabbat.